Hey there YouTube, Crispy Charizard here. Today I'm discussing what was just announced yesterday, the newest Pokemon, Zeraora. Now, we've known about Zeraora for a while, if you've been paying attention. It's been a while. Has been, data mined at the earliest moments. We've known about Zeraora, just like back in Gen 6. We knew about Diancie, Volcanion, and Hoopa for ages before they were officially announced. And I've even used it on Pokemon Showdown once or twice. It's actually pretty good, but I don't have that much experience from just those two times. But now it's official, so we get to watch the trailers for both its announcement and the trailer for the new movie, Pokemon Everyone's Story. This city is based on wind, and Lugia seems to be their patron or something. Now, the first thing that I thought when I first saw this is that this resembles San Francisco a lot. And I'm like, well, isn't that something? It really doesn't matter whether it's based on San Francisco or not, I'm just saying. But we assume it's set in Johto because I Choose You was set in Kanto. So I am suddenly getting very excited because if this new timeline of movies is going to keep doing this, the third movie is going to be set in Hoenn, of course with new characters and new Pokemon, maybe Gen 8, who knows, and maybe even Sinnoh and Unova in the future. But it's really nice artwork. So we're going to assume it's based on Johto from now on. Based on the character bios that we have so far, this girl, she's a high schooler. She doesn't know anything about Pokemon. She's not a Pokemon trainer yet. But her brother, who has an injured leg and is in the hospital, poor guy, has begged her to catch an Eevee for him because he really wants an Eevee. And she is not happy about it because she doesn't know anything about Pokemon. Now, this is obviously, if you didn't know, normal for some people. Not everyone likes or knows anything about Pokemon, even at this age. You would expect someone at her age to have at least caught one Pokemon, but apparently that's not for everyone. This is an interesting aspect of Pokemon that they've rarely gone into. Sure, once or twice we meet adults who don't really have anything to do with Pokemon, but this movie is going to go even deeper into that, as we'll see in the future. But, the point is, her brother wants an Eevee, and she really wants to help him, but she's not happy about it. He is extremely shy or something, and he doesn't have any courage, and in this movie, obviously, he's gonna find it. That's how plots work, that's how character development works, but until then, his chances just gonna keep patting his back and consoling him while he just doesn't have the courage to speak in front of people, or I don't know. Then there's this guy. He is a braggart, apparently, according to the bios. He tells tall tales. Then there's this lady. She, at her age or whatever, hates Pokemon. That's what I mentioned earlier. Lisa, a high schooler, doesn't have anything to do with Pokemon yet, but she doesn't necessarily hate them. But this lady absolutely hates Pokemon because of something in her past. Now that's going to be significant. But for some reason, these 4 baby Pokemon, they just insist on following her, but they know that she doesn't like them. So, I assume that's why they don't want her to know that they're following her. But she hates Pokemon for some reason, which that just seems so harsh. Being a Pokemon fan at all, you would assume that everyone loves Pokemon in a world of Pokemon, but anyway, she apparently befriends Ash first because they seem to be very familiar with each other, and he possibly told her how to catch the Eevee. Also, I heard these rumors saying that this movie is going to introduce a flying type evolution. I'm extremely excited if that's true, but I'm not gonna expect that, and I'm not gonna tell you it's true. Don't tell anyone that I insisted this. It's not. It's just a rumor. It's not even a theory. Come on. Don't get any high hopes. Then there's this girl. She's a very mysterious girl. She's the mayor's daughter, so you can assume she's rich. She's extremely significant, but no one knows anything about her. She's probably a loner. Also, the fact that Team Rocket's in this movie, which I had no idea until this trailer, since they weren't in any of the previous trailers or posters that I've seen, is a little uncomfortable, because they were the one part of I Choose You, well, not the only part, but they were one part of I Choose You which were completely unnecessary. They were just comic relief for the kids, and yeah, sure, you gotta have comic relief for the kids. And I respect their roles in the anime so far. I liked how serious and Black Ops they were back in Unova, because back then they were actually kind of serious. I like how they have to keep getting different jobs, like selling donuts to get by. I like how they build a base in Sun and Moon. And it's like, yeah, all the anime stuff they do, I respect that. It's comic relief, but they have personality. But in I Choose You, they had zero personality, zero significance to the plot. Ash did not even meet them. They were blown away out of his sight. He never even seen them in the first movie. And if they're gonna do the same thing here, again, well, why are they following him? They've never met him personally. They were after Entei in the first movie, and they got blown away by it. It's like, they're just gonna be comic relief again. I'm calling it. They're not gonna be insignificant, and they're not gonna even be funny because I'm too old for this kind of comic relief. They're not gonna have any character like they do in the anime. In the anime, they have character that I can, like, appreciate. Then there's gonna be some sort of disaster. I don't know if it's gonna be caused by Lugia or I don't know. But it looks like everyone else is trying to run away, and they all have their own issues, obviously. It looks like Ash is gonna try to convince them to not give up. Now the action parts, I hope that's gonna be good, because also Ash does look a little older, which is good because this is obviously set later enough than I Choose You to show that he has already got his Kanto badges. He obviously did not win the Indigo League in his timeline, again, just like in the original timeline, but that's why he's going to Johto to try again. If he has any badges in this movie, I don't know, because unlike the first movie, which I could respect was set up over a traveling time period, which is unlike any of the other movies, this movie is more like the originals because he's in one city, he's dealing with one or two legendaries / mythicals, and he's just going to have an adventure where he stops some disaster from happening. Now, while that is kind of boring because we've seen it before, it's also refreshing because I don't want to see I Choose You forever, because it was a little shocking how different it was. Also, the fact that he looks this older, like this much older, just from one movie forward, suggests to me that if they're going to continue this timeline with one movie in Hoenn, one movie in Sinnoh, etc., he might be aging a lot. For all we know, he's actually not going to be 10 in those movies. Officially, I mean. Which is something I've been really, really hoping for the original Ash. Because, screw the cartoon logic. He needs to age if we're going to have any satisfaction in seeing him grow. Anyway, for some reason, Eevee injures its leg, which I wonder if is a coincidence or something to do with her brother, who the Eevee was promised to. I also noticed that she's bonding with the Eevee, which seems troublesome if it was meant for her brother. Maybe, I don't know what, it's probably an accident, Eevee breaking its leg or something. It's probably an accident. I really feel bad for it. Also, I noticed that the ribbon where its bandage is tied reminds me of a Sylveon ribbon. And maybe it will evolve into a flying type evolution. Who knows? But I wonder who's going to keep Eevee. I wonder if her brother's going to survive. Oh, this is turning dark. And this is the part where they showcase Zeraora in the trailer for the first time. Now, part of Zeraora's bio is that using static electricity from outside its body, since unlike all other electric types, it lacks an internal organ which generates electricity. So he cannot generate its own electricity, which is not a problem because he can always gather more than enough electricity from outside his body. By generating that electricity on its paws, it can actually fly at the speed of lightning, which is impressive. But it's still just an electric type. But a very good one, mind you. Now for the official Zeraora reveal on Pokemon's YouTube channel. Zeraora. Let's see. Thunderclap Pokemon, 4'11", 98.1 pounds, electric type. And I don't know if they're going to reveal it, but we already know that he has Volt Absorb as his ability. I'm going to mention why that's important in a minute. Anyway, there's no way to know how to get it officially yet, but you just be patient. Now, I just noticed that the Volt Absorb is reminiscent of his biology, where instead of having an internal electric organ, he relies on outside sources, mainly static electricity in the atmosphere and his fur, to gather the electricity. So that's where Volt Absorb comes in. Now, one good strategy is with his signature move, Plasma Fists. Okay. Zeraora's signature move is called Plasma Fists. Plasma Fist. The user attacks with electrically charged fists. This move changes normal type moves to electric type moves. Now, obviously, that means normal type moves after his move, not before, obviously. That doesn't make sense. So, after he uses Plasma Fists, any Pokemon that uses normal type move has that normal type move turn into an electric type move. You can see where I'm going with this. If Zeraora attacks a Pokemon with Plasma Fists, and even though it's a very strong move, if they happen to survive, and if you happen to maybe intentionally predict, or maybe by chance, if they were using a normal type move then even though they survive, their normal type move will be turned into an electric type move by your Plasma Fists having been used, then that electric type move will heal you because your ability is Volt Absorb. So it's a pretty solid strat, pretty solid combo. I mean, of course, it depends on your opponent using normal type moves, and plenty of Pokemon use those, really strong ones too. Double Edge, Return, Facade, you name it. Head Charge, who knows? There's not that many. And, of course, you would say also that it doesn't work if you move last. But Zeraora is fast. Let's look at its stats. 88 HP, 112 attack, 75 defense, 102 special attack, 80 special defense, 143 speed. Okay, so right off the bat, its HP and its defenses aren't too good. I'm not an expert or anything, but I think they're pretty reminiscent of, Marshadow. Now, I like to think of Marshadow as a complete monster. That thing has wrecked me so many times. And I've wrecked with it so many times. It has very high speed, very high attack, but less than adequate defenses, which is okay for, a sweeper. But they're doing it again with Zeraora. I'm not an expert, so I don't know if it's 80 special defense is enough, but I'm willing to say no. But also, not only is its attack 112, but its special attack is 102, which isn't shabby. So you could run it special if you want, but of course, I would prefer to run it a physical because it has 10 extra. Well, actually, no, now that I think about it, 10 isn't that much, so you could run it mixed if you want, or physical or special. But look at its speed. 143 speed. That's fast. So you don't have to worry about Plasma Fist going last. That's very unlikely. And anything else in its move pool, you got lots of physical moves, a few special ones like Discharge, Snarl, Volt Switch, but mostly physical moves. Plasma Fist, Close Combat, Wild Charge, Thunder Punch. Yeah. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Let's see, move tutor attacks gets Bounce, Fire Punch, Dual Chop, Iron Tail, Electro Web, Drain Punch. It has a lot of fighting type moves. I can appreciate that. Fighting type moves are very offensive. Lots of things are weak to fighting. Outrage, Throat Chop, Laser Focus. Okay. It's very similar to Incineroar in this move pool, but also Marshadow. Usable Z moves, not too many, but a good deal. Not that it matters. And basically, this thing is pretty good. Pretty good. I'd say it's solid. Anyway, so I don't know which is a big deal, the movie or Zeraora. We've known about both for a while. The movie details are new, but they're pretty interesting. Zeraora, we've known a lot about a while. People have used it before, unofficially. And, I'm willing to say that this is pretty interesting. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. I appreciate all the support. Comment if you have anything to say about Everyone's Story, the movie, or Zeraora. I know I'm excited. And, like recently, I have not been able to make as many many videos as I want, but I will try my best. In a few weeks, I'll be done with this semester, and I will be making a lot more videos, for sure. And that's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.